Hi everyone. Again, my name is Ella Sobani, and today is week 2 of the first unit, which is all about healthy lifestyles. So this week you learned all about and hopefully answered the question, what are some diseases that result from an unhealthy lifestyle? So today's going to be a quick review, and you should have a notes document in front of you with fill in the blank notes so that you're able to write down some of the key terms and relevant information from this week's course of study. So, what have you guys learned this week? So, Monday was supposed to be focused on heart disease, Tuesday on obesity, Wednesday on diabetes, Thursday on cancer, and Friday, which is today, will be a review. So, what questions do we use to guide our heart disease study? So, one, what is heart disease? 2, what are some common symptoms of heart disease? And 3, what are some causes of heart disease? So there are a couple different types of heart disease, but basically heart disease refers to the blockage of blood vessels, which you can kind of see over here, that can lead to a heart attack, chest pain, which is known as angina, or stroke. And some common types of heart disease, this by all means is not all types of heart disease, but some common ones. Congenital heart disease, arrhythmia, and coronary artery disease. And it's also important to note, and we'll get to that later in the presentation as well, that many forms of heart disease can easily be prevented by a healthy lifestyle. Some causes of heart disease can include, it can be caused by an unhealthy diet and little physical activity. And both of those habits here, an unhealthy diet and a small amount of physical activity, causes cholesterol to build up in our blood vessels. So that's this yellow part here, orange part here. And the buildup of cholesterol can cause your heart to fail, and also cause chest pain or stroke. And a stroke, if you guys don't know already, is when not enough blood can get to your brain. So symptoms of heart disease, again, chest pain, chest tightness, chest pressure, and chest discomfort. Shortness of breath, so that's like when you're out of breath a little bit. Pain in the neck area, jaw, throat, your upper abdomen even, or back. And fatigue, which is a like feeling of being really tired and kind of sluggish. And then lastly, sort of dizziness, lightheadedness, and fainting. So how to prevent heart disease? Obviously, not all factors of heart disease can be preventable, but some main kind of risk factors include smoking. You can work to control other health conditions such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes, and we'll talk more about these later. Exercise for at least 30 minutes a day. Eat a diet that is, relatively low in salt and saturated fat, maintain a healthy weight, reduce and manage stress, and practice good hygiene. And all of these are topics that we're learning about this unit. So now we're going to move on to obesity. So what is obesity? What are some common consequences of obesity? And what are some causes of, oh, that's supposed to say obesity. So what is obesity? One of the best ways to describe what obesity actually is highlighting the difference between obesity and just being overweight. So a key term for this unit of study is body mass index. And body mass index is basically used to measure obesity. When you're overweight, that means your body mass index is between the 85th and 95th percentile, which means that you're heavier than 85 to 95% of people your age and of your sex. And just a quick, fun fact, or not so fun fact, in the USA, 1 in 5 children are obese. So causes of obesity include eating high calorie, low nutrient foods and beverages on a regular basis. Some certain medications can, make you more prone to becoming obese. Not getting enough sleep or rest, and being in environments that do not support healthy habits. So this could be if you attend a school that, like in the US, we have cafeterias that don't provide healthy lunch options, or maybe your family doesn't eat the healthiest of foods. And also the last point here, no access to healthy foods. There's a concept known as food deserts, which are prevalent in the US, which means there's really no access around you to whole foods. It's mostly processed. So some consequences of obesity. So children with obesity are more likely to kind of demonstrate the following symptoms. So high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, breathing problems. This can also like be manifested as asthma, joint problems and discomfort, and heartburn as well. And psychological problems can also be caused by obesity, such as anxiety and depression, and maybe having lower self-esteem and a lower self-reported quality of life. How to prevent obesity? Of course, there's many factors, genetic factors, environmental factors, but in short, have a healthy diet and stay active, which is two of the main points of this unit. So now we're going to talk about diabetes. So first, what is diabetes? What is the difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes? What are some common symptoms? And what are some causes? So I'm just going to go through and define the two types of diabetes. So type 1 is when, as you guys know, the pancreas fails to make insulin. The immune system attacks the pancreas, causing it to not produce insulin. And we know everyone needs insulin to survive, to, break down the glucose in our bodies. So people with diabetes are not required, but in order to survive, they need shots of insulin. And this right here is seen that as one of the tests that people with diabetes have to do on a regular basis. So type 2 diabetes is when the body, it can be two things, either doesn't produce enough insulin or resists insulin. So we're going to primarily be talking about type 2 diabetes because type 2 diabetes is it can be largely prevented with healthy eating habits and by not smoking, whereas type 1 diabetes has more to do with, possibly genetic causes for the disease. So some symptoms of type 2 diabetes include hunger, tiredness, and vision issues. That's basically all that we have to say to cover about diabetes for right now. Cancer, lastly. So what is cancer? What are some common types of cancer? And what are some risk factors for cancer? So cancer is when abnormal cells in your body divide uncontrollably and in turn destroy your body tissue. So this is an excerpt from cancer.org to kind of demonstrate how many types of cancer there are. There are many types of cancer. It's not just one disease. Cancer can start in the lungs, the breast, the colon, or even in the blood. Cancers are alike in some ways, but they are different in the ways they grow and spread. So this kind of goes to show all the different types of cancer there are, and you can't really pinpoint it to one part of the body So some common types of lung include lung cancer, breast cancer, skin cancer, and stomach cancer. So some risk factors. Genetic factors, so your family background can affect your chances of getting cancer. External factors include physical carcinogens, and carcinogens are things that, are prone to cause cancer. So this can be ultraviolet radiation, chemical carcinogen. The big thing to note here is components of tobacco smoke. That is a carcinogen. And arsenic, which can contaminate drinking water as well. And then also there's biological carcinogens, which can be infections from certain viruses, bacteria, or parasites. So Lifestyle factors, again, tobacco, so smoking, being overweight or obese, having an unhealthy diet with a low amount of fruits and vegetable intake, lack of physical activity, alcohol use, and some other factors here. I won't name all of them. And that concludes this week's presentation. Here are some sources that were used for this presentation. I hope you all enjoyed your activities this week and you found these notes helpful. I'll see you next week.